change isn't going to happen overnight, but what we have to measure is progress. And if we aren't going to keep people on board for change, you're probably not going to. If you tell people the workplace is going to change overnight, they're not going to stay on board. But if you tell them, here are the 17 different steps we are taking to get to point B, and then here are the 12 steps we are going to take to get to point C, and our goal is to get to point W, and here are all the steps on the way. I would like you to be involved here and here and here. You are a leader. Here's how you are going to be involved. Here's how you bring your team along. And frankly, here's how your salary is going to be cut if you don't. And it's that kind of accountability and that kind of transparency. And I talk about millennials all the time. It especially applies with millennials. That's the transparency and the accountability that we need if we're really going to take steps on diversity. And then you do diversity training as a part of those steps. It is not the end all. It is not the be all. It is part of that journey as well.
You talk about where you want to be, point A, point B, getting to point W.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people do think of it in terms of quotas. What are just an example of 2 or 3 examples of the type of benchmark that would be meaningful for inclusion?
I think it depends on what your company is. It depends on what your competitors are doing. It depends on who your leaders are. What are their benchmarks? Like I can say your benchmark should be 40% Latinx executive. That means nothing. And it means nothing because I don't know who your company is. I don't know what they do. I don't know what your market is. I don't know what your pipeline even looks like. I don't know what cities you're in. So you have to look at all of those different factors. What quotas are saying is that quotas are saying you need to hire 3 transgender women in the next, 2 years. How is that even going to happen if you have nothing in place to do that? Plus, how is that even going to affect? You may have to hire 3 transgender women and you have 7,000 employees. So when you think of, benchmarks, when you think of targets, when you think of goals, please look at what you are trying to do as a company. What is the product you are trying to deliver? What is the environment you're trying to create? If year after year you have your one lone Black employee because you only brought in 2 Black employees and there's 4,000 other employees, and you didn't provide them with the community, and you didn't provide them with the support, and they keep leaving, and you're saying, well, gosh, we really want to get to this goal of having, like 20% of our executive staff needs to be people of color, you're never going to get there. It's never going to happen because you didn't put the support systems in place. So I want you to look at what your markets are, what your target audience is, what your demographics are. You can look at the demographics of your city or your country or your nation, whatever it needs to be, but have a goal that's meaningful to you. And for a lot of my clients, I have clients that have 100 people, and their 100 people are, they have 72 white men, right? And so having a goal of just having 2 women is a huge goal for them because they haven't even had this goal before. Having a goal of 10% women, that's another goal. Having a goal of 1 Black person, that's a goal. And you might think, well, this country is, 13%, that's not a great goal, but it's a goal that matters for them. So that's what I want people to do. Work toward your goal. And if you hit your goal, great. And if you didn't hit your goal, fine. But figure out what were the steps you were taking to get there. And that, for me, is where the difference lies.